guys, Wayne here from Luna's World. I hope you're well. Welcome to Microsoft Flight Simulator, and we're in New York and we're flying the Got Gravel Vertigo, which is an insane, just a super fast turboprop. It's literally insane. This thing should not be allowed to fly this fast. So today I'm going to be talking about my method of testing your system to make sure that you can set and forget, get those settings dialed in and get them absolutely bang on without, you know, endless testing and going back and forth. So this is the method that I use. Before we do that though, here's a quick word from our sponsor. Guys, FS Academy has 30% off right now. If you don't know what it is, it's basically a learning tool from within Microsoft Flight Simulator. I can guarantee that most flight simmers don't use the sim to its full potential. They don't really do everything by the book, you know, but at least having some knowledge and having some of the foundation of how to properly fly, especially for beginners, is so rewarding. So if you want to fly VFR or IFR, or learn how to fly, you know, from beacon to beacon, learn how to do a circuit, fly tube liners, fly at night, any of that stuff, then you've got to get hold of FS Academy. They've got a 30% discount as well between the 5th of August and the 12th of August. So there's never been a better time than right now to get FS Academy and explore all that it has to offer. I'm a huge fan. I use it on a weekly, sometimes a daily basis. It really sharpens up my airmanship skills, and yeah, I couldn't do without it. So anyway, back to the video. Welcome back. So yeah, we're flying just over New York, in going into Manhattan at a ridiculous speed and fairly low, and I'm just going to watch my frame rate counter there. It's dipping around 25 or 22, below 25 there. Okay, so that, and you can see it's turned red, so that's telling me what I've got it set at is too much for the, in this case, the CPU. GPU seems to be fine. So what we're going to have to do is go into the graphic settings and reduce some of this stuff. For example, these dials, these two sliders here are really important. They really affect how much your CPU is under load. So I'm going to go to 100 and maybe even 150 here. I'm going to notch this one back to ultra, terrain vector to high, buildings definitely to high, maybe even medium, but in a place like New York, of course, you want to see the beautiful shiny buildings. Volumetric clouds, that's actually normally on ultra, but it's knocked back already, so I would have done that. And then water waves, we can probably go medium there. And then we can certainly knock back some of these shadows. Does that go any lower? In fact, terrain shadows, it is nice to see those shadows, especially at this time of day. Contact shadows we can go down to medium. Windshield effects medium. Let's see, what else do I have? I missed out ambient occlusion. Let's go to low there. Okay, so that's given us quite a bit. Let's see what that effect is. Okay, so we'll do a turn here and get back to over the city. So the reason I do this is because, oh my word, look at that. So no real degradation in the scenery. Doesn't that look stunning? Okay, let's keep an eye on the frame rates as we pass over the city. So we're all in the green there. There's a few little red spikes, but definitely not as bad as it was. So that's kind of an improvement. Now the other thing to think about, well, two things actually. First of all, the longer you fly with the rolling cache on, the better the performance. Oh, lost a bit of performance there. So that's something to bear in mind. The other thing is that performance is not just affected by visuals, it's also affected by all the calculations that the sim has to do. in order to simulate flying. So that's the main reason why I fly in a faster aircraft, normally a jet actually, but I took this out today, is to, you know, do this kind of thing. Really push the physics, you know, get the rudder going and do some crazy stuff. And again, at speed and quite low, especially around, you know, these buildings and things. Let's do some crazy stunts here. Stuff like this. This is really pushing, you know, the system to its limit as it handles all these calculations. Now, it also makes testing very fun. And of course, I've got dev mode on, so if we do hit something, we'll just bounce off of it, really. You can see the buildings look great. I'm not, you know, I don't spend my life staring at buildings when I'm flying, but as long as they look representative, which they do, and they look pretty high res, that's kind of good enough for me. When you see these videos on YouTube, guys, that have, you know, flying through Las Vegas or super fast through buildings, this kind of stuff, you know, crazy stunts, but don't forget that those videos have been edited, you know, so what you're seeing is the best of. All the stutters and things will be edited out. They'll use smooth footage. So I doubt that any computer in the world could run this without a single stutter at at ultra, or maybe at high, to be honest. There's just too much going on. So it's a compromise. It is always going to be a compromise, because, you know, I'm sure there's a law that will say, with the increase of the, you know, the geographic information that's coming and the visual fidelity and the physics versus the hardware, there's always going to be some kind of a compromise between the two. And we're just, you know, luckily we're used to that as flight simmers. But as the technology and the developers find better ways to render all this stuff and calculate all this stuff, you know, it's an exciting time. So I'm purposely doing some crazy stuff. Don't forget also to go outside and try the same thing but in different views. Normally you'll find the outside view is better because of the cockpit. See her bobbing about there. So we really are putting this through its paces. So that's kind of how I like to test it. I hope you've enjoyed this, guys. And the other thing is try not to change too many things at once to really get the right settings dialed in. So as you've noticed, I haven't changed the time of day or the weather, but that's another, you know, another testing level that you can do once you're happy with what you've got, what you're experiencing here. So I would say for me, this short little test has proved that, you know, this is about as good as it's going to get for me visually in order to get this kind of level of smoothness. Now it's not perfect, but it's way better than it was. And with that, I think we'll leave it here, just flying over Central Park. And yeah, hope you've enjoyed this video, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And yeah, thanks for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you very soon in the next one. Don't forget that FS Academy has got a 30% sale on right now, so go and check them out. Link is in the description. And yeah, talk to you soon. Cheers.